All right, what's up, y'all? They're gonna still say Kingdom Coach TV. What's going on? Did it go to me? It's not switching. Oh yeah, I'm live. It's just not here. So we just gonna have to go with the flow. Here we are. So right now, sorry about that. I didn't tell you what's going on. So I lost my secure internet connection. So I wanted to make sure, and it looked like it's still skipping. But we just gonna go on in Jesus' name. But again, we're too quiet about this election thing, and I got a problem with that. And I'm gonna tell you why I got a problem with that. Is because it's too much relying on this election cycle. Pull up the video from Obama, and I'm going further in details once we talk about this Obama situation. What Obama talking about? Go for it.
Donald Trump will be the next president, the 45th president of the United States. And it will be up to him to set up a team that he thinks will serve him well and reflect his policies. And those who didn't vote for him have to recognize that that's how democracy works. That's how this system operates. When I won, there were a number of people who didn't like me and didn't like what I stood for. And, I think that whenever you've got an incoming president of the other side, particularly in a bitter election like this, it takes a while for people to reconcile themselves with that new reality. Hopefully it's a reminder that elections matter and voting counts. And so, I don't know how many times we have to relearn this lesson because we ended up having 43% of the country not voting who were eligible to vote, but it makes a difference. Given that President-elect Trump is now trying to balance what he said in the campaign and the commitments he made to his supporters with working with those who disagreed with him and members of Congress and reaching out to constituencies that didn't vote for him. I think it's important for us to let him make his decisions. And I think the American people will judge over the course of the next couple of years whether they like what they see and whether these are the kinds of policies and this is the direction that they want to see the country going.
All right, so let's break that down. So, literally, in this section where he was saying that, like, I don't know how many times we're gonna have to relearn this lesson that elections matter, voting matter, and that's just the first part. The second part is who we vote for matter. How educated about your voting selections, like who you put in office, matter. Let's unpack this. So when Obama was in office, 8 years in power, as Ta-Nehisi Coates would say, 8 years in power. We were 8 years in power. But so the first 2 years, a lot got done. The momentum was high. You probably see. I remember when they said the first 100 days, Obama did more in his first 100 days than most presidents did their entire term. But we have to really study what was happening at that time. We had a Democrat and president. We had the House. We had the Senate. What that means? That means anything that the president wanted to get passed, he didn't have to fight in the Senate to get it passed. He didn't have to fight in the House to get it passed because most of the people were on the same team. How did this happen? Because we voted for that to happen. Now, 2 years after that, things start slowing down. Why? Because we did not vote. Just like he said, 43% of the country did not come back to vote. 43%. I don't know how many elected voters that not elected. I don't know how many registered voters we have in America, but half of y'all didn't vote. And I'm sure it wasn't the half of the people who kind of go against the masses. So, and what I mean by that is we see some crazy laws get put in place and that don't benefit the common people. Don't benefit the middle class, don't benefit the working class. It benefit, and we talk about this all the time, politicians go in there and dance with corporations and only support the people that put them in office. Yeah, because those are the people that put him in office. And a politician is going to benefit from that. Now, should it be that way? No, but that's the reality of what it is. And just like Dave said, hey, you go to your politician like, I remember you making this promise. And if you're not going to do it, we're going to find somebody else. But that is not what we do. We don't go to our politicians at all. We don't hold them accountable. We don't know what they do. We don't know how to get in touch with them. And then we talk about, we don't trust the process. It's because you realize these are people, right? They got families just like we do. They got kids just like we do. They have ambitions just like we do, hopefully. And they have ideas just like we do. But what we have to remember is that they are supposed to serve us. But it's kind of hard to serve people who don't show up. That's like a server setting a table for a party of 8 and only one person show up. But you talk bad about the restaurant, but you ain't show up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a crazy analogy, but essentially that's what it is. So the server is going to bring out everything that one person asked for. I mean, he got the table set for 8 people, but the server is only going to serve that one person, you know. I mean, because they can't make assumptions of what you want if you don't show up to support. Now, it's a different story if we showed up and our candidate didn't win. Now, that's where you hold the person in charge accountable. Because they are accountable to serving your needs. But it's a different thing when the person that was intended, that ran under the same ideals in which you needed, and you didn't go out and vote. And I believe that's going to happen now. Because we so quiet about election. This election, 40 days away. Matter of fact, October 8th is the last day to even register to be a voter. So if you are a registered voter, but your cousin is not, that ain't gonna help either. Because, I mean, I know most people are like, my one vote don't matter, which it does matter, but does one vote deter an election? Most times it don't. But if you and 5 of your other cousins and 5 of their other cousins and 6 of the other cousins don't register to vote, then you talking about 25 votes that could have been on our favor that just won't happen. So they're giving away the right that John Lewis talked about, that people fought so hard to give you. Understand the power of your vote. Understand the power of your voice. Don't allow things to just happen and either you don't complain about it. Either you complain about it or you just let things happen. Realize that you have a voice. Realize that you have some say-so about what happened in your community. Can I get an amen, somebody? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have... look. Hey, Lauren, how you doing? Good to see you. I appreciate you watching. All right, but again, like, understand that when you need something done in your community, that's how you get it done. We talk about, I did a documentary called Use Your Voice. In that documentary, we talk about in one community, it looks one way. Across the street, in another community, it looks a different way. Why is that? Because we trust people to do a certain thing. Actually, you good, bro. We trust our we trust our community leaders to supply in a certain way. And when we go to these meetings, we realize that they do have say so in the rights of how the money is funneled. Now, again, that's another portion. Once a person get elected, go to these meetings and see what they're doing. But communities look a certain way, and you'll see a candidate talk about other candidates not talking about what the schools look like or what students have to face. Let's bring this on home. Yo, we got a hurricane coming this weekend, right? Who makes the decision on whether the kids go to school, whether we gonna declare the state of emergency? Who makes the evacuation plans? Who makes the call of whether we need resources in our community? Who calls the National Guard, when places get flooded? We know Columbia flood easy. That's what your vote does. And who you think they're gonna service? Like, if a constituent call, not a constituent, what if an elected official call for certain things, who you think they're gonna service first? The people, as Aaron Bishop said on one of our last segments, the community that's silent gets silent treatment. Your vote is loud. The community that is silent gets silent treatment. So when you need stuff and you didn't vote, I'm talking about the reality. I ain't talking about how it should be. I'm talking about the reality. The reality of this thing is, if you didn't vote, your community might miss out. And I just want to raise awareness. Who's here on me? Drop a 3 in the chat. Who's here with me? Drop a 3. Drop a 3 in the chat if you here with me. Gloria, I see you. What's going on? Drop a 3 in the chat, y'all. Again, we talking about this voting thing, man. So we are way too quiet about voting. And I'm gonna tell you what you about to see in a few weeks. You about to see this in a few weeks, because again, we less than 40 days away from the election. You about to see a slew of ads, commercials, and right now it's the survival of the fittest. So because we haven't researched candidates, because we haven't endorsed candidates, we about to go to the ballot box guessing. Oh man, this person here had a nice commercial. They was talking good. I think I'm gonna vote for them. I work in media, so my job is to make sure everybody look pretty. My job is to make sure your messages is tight. You know what I'm saying? So, we can trust what they say on these commercials, but it only give you a 30-second snapshot. Like, are we really going to their website and seeing what they promise they're gonna do? Go to the website and see what they promise gonna do. See what their promises is. See what their plan is. So you see whether it's the right candidate for you. Now, I know we ain't got time to do all that. Now, I don't know if they're doing town halls. They kind of stopped with the town halls like right after the pandemic. And I don't understand why they stopped with that, because I know for me, I learned a lot by how a candidate is going to be, or what their promise is by their town hall or these debates that they have. And I'm not even talking about on a national level. I'm talking like on a local level. Like being able to listen and talk about, listen to how they respond to questions and listen to what their plan is for when they get in the office. Those are the things that you can hold people accountable for. But I am willing to bet you that they are not doing these debates and things like that because we ain't coming to them anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't coming. I have this town hall. I mean, it's an event, so that means you got to have things in place. You got to have people in place. You got to have, some people have programs, some people have flyers, some people have, X, Y, and Z. So that costs money. But if you ain't coming, you know, why am I going to do all that? So I see we got 5 people. I finally got a reasonable number. That number dropped to 2 real quick. Y'all don't want to hear what I got to say. I'm just a voice crying out in the wilderness. Really, we too quiet about this voting thing. You tell me. I'm watching the chat. What y'all think about voting? Like, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about the elections? Right now, we in the governor's election right now. And we got Henry McMaster, who is running for governor. I think he's running against somebody. He's in the seat already. Let's see if I can pull up a ballot. Who is on the ballot? Don't pull my screen up yet. I'll tell you when. Who is on the ballot? Let's see if we can find who's on the November 8th ballot. Wait a minute. We need to research these things. While I'm here, I mean, we might as well look at it. South Carolina. Senate, House. Okay, it don't break it down further than that. Okay, let's see. Let's continue to look at this thing. Let's see. I've never voted because I felt like it wouldn't count. But as I've learned more, my hubby and I are definitely. Give me that back. I want to see the whole thing. Would say definitely this time around, but before I always felt like it was rigged. Okay, cool. So I addressed that. Matter of fact, in my documentary, and I respect that answer, Gloria, because a lot of people feel that way. Like when I pulled up the numbers earlier, I'm gonna go back to it. Register vote. Do you trust the democratic process? Have you experienced? Do you think your individual vote matters? Do you fully left, right? Yeah, pull my computer back up and put the pip on. All right. Yeah. So, like I was saying in the last one, I don't know if you heard me, but I did this research when I was doing my documentary, Use Your Voice, and this was some of the responses that I got. Do you understand the political process? And just like you said, like, you don't feel like the vote really, like, what are some questions or comments you have about voting Democrats? I have no usually. Our vote only matters when it comes down to making the popular vote somewhat right. Electoral college is going to hide who should become the next president based on their own algorithms. Voting process is outdated and are only still used to make us feel important. Interesting point. But going to your point, like other people literally felt that same way about, whether their vote matters or not. You can bring me full screen. Like really understand the voting process, whether it's rigged, whether it's working or not. So it's more strict now than it's ever been, because people are really feel that way. Electoral college should be done away with. That's a whole nother conversation. Anyway, hey mama watching. Okay, cool. So, but literally, like, a lot of people don't believe that their vote matters. I've been working with elections involuntarily, honestly, since I was a kid. My uncle was county council in the county that I'm from, Williamsburg County. And I've seen where they literally pull. This is back in the day when they had to print the ballot count sheet, and they used to put it on the door of wherever you voted, so you can actually see how many people voted for what and how many people showed up to vote. So with the numbers like that, now when you're talking about a rigged election, you're talking about federal level. Most times these smaller elections, it's too small to rig. Most times people win because people don't show up. And now I asked a question here about, let me see if I can pull it up. Do you trust register to vote? Do you understand? Have you ever heard of voter suppression? So let me go into voter suppression. The way you feel right now about, the election is this, the election is that, that's called voter suppression. So suppressing the vote is making it hard for people to vote. And you do that in so many ways. You can do it physically by putting up these different barriers for people to not get registered. One point of example is people who may have a criminal record or have a felony on their record. There was a point in time where they couldn't vote because they had a felony on their record. That's suppression. That's physical suppression. Another physical suppression is moving your voting precinct at the last minute. This happened actually a few years ago, where there was some precincts, especially when COVID first happened. They closed precincts and didn't tell people where they're supposed to vote. So people's trying to scramble around, trying to figure out where they're supposed to vote at the last minute. That's a form of suppression. Or rearranging, this is called gerrymandering. I know it's a funny word, but gerrymandering is when they cross the lines, which is the zoning in which you vote. So last year you may vote at this precinct. They changed the line, so now you vote in another precinct. And now at the last minute, you got to go to this area. So what this gerrymandering does is it causes you to have longer lines at particularly black and brown neighborhoods. See, white folks don't have to stand in line for 4 hours to vote. You don't see that. They make sure of it. It's not that they have more or less voters. It's because the lines, they have more precincts available in their communities. They got more ways that they can vote. But what we do is, because we don't know about the zoning, we don't know that someone actually, your election commission is controlling that, and your county council. So your county council is over your election commission, which you vote for your county council, and then your election commission is the one that kind of shape that. So in my documentary, Use Your Voice 2, I actually brought an election commission member on, which was Miss Yolanda Taylor. We all know who Miss Yolanda Taylor is. And she talks about, us having the ability to understand that that there is things in place, particularly to help us be able to vote more smoothly. And that's what you go to your election commission for. But again, in other places, your election commission is selected by your county council or your city council. And of course, if that person ain't for you or your community, they're going to make sure people in place is going to favor them so they can get reelection. So that's not really a rigged system. It's knowing the system. It's not rigged. It's knowing the system, knowing how this stuff works. If you don't know how it works, then you do feel like, okay, it's rigged. But I'm telling you, your election commission is important. And all of this is public information. You can figure out who these people is. You just look it up. Who is your election commission? Matter of fact, I'm about to go to Richland County website. Richland County Election Commission. Anybody have any questions? I see. Yeah, that's how it works. All right, pull the computer up. All right, so here, Richland County. And I'm dealing with Richland County. Every county have this form of this on their, that you have access to. So if you don't live in Richland County, you live in Lexington, they got a form of this. If you live outside of that, York, Williamsburg, Abbeville, those different Sumter counties, they have a form of somewhere where you can see all your information. Why? Because it's public domain. It's public information. You should be able to see it. So here, again, welcome to your voters registration and elections of Richland County. So they have all your different governors, different type things, advisor council, county council, elected offices, departments, committees, boards, judicial system, ordinances. I was talking about that earlier. ADA compliance. So county ADA, if you don't know what that is, those are your accessibility. So people that may have accessibility needs, or like wheelchair accessible, and all those different compliances. There's a board that oversees that too. Again, this is like law that goes in place that makes sure all of this stuff. Commissions. Let's see. Look here. You have the airport commission. And they say one vacancy, somebody need to fill that spot. I'm sure it's a volunteer thing. Conservation commission, convention center commission, public service commission, election commission. Here we go. Boom. This is your election commission. So this have all the information about the elections. All of it. Voter registration and elections office. Now, I want you to really understand that you only got another week if you ain't registered. Shut down on the 8th. If you ain't registered to vote by the 8th, you cannot vote in this election. You cannot vote for who your next governor gonna be. So this is what's it? Early voting satellite locations. These are different locations that you can do your early voting. Look here, what it says. October 28th. It got the information there for you. Heavy traffic between 2 and 6. Please make plans to go before 2 or choose one of the other 11 days. And look, the information is there. Richland County Voter Registration and Election is inviting you to a scheduled Zoom meeting every month, every second Thursday. Everything is here. Zoom link, everything. So if you have any questions at all, you can bring me back up. Like any questions at all, any concerns, anything about elections. Like the commission is meeting every Thursday. Every second or third Thursday. What we say? Let me find it again. You don't have to put it back up. Every second Thursday. Matter of fact, the next one is going to be October 3rd. No, that already passed. No, October 13th at 5 p.m. If you have any questions about the election process, Any questions about what you're supposed to do or what you can do, being a volunteer at the polls. Like, start really getting into the process, being a volunteer at the polls so you can help to get these lines. So, going back to voter suppression. Again, physically, Captain, physically, right now, they got a law in place. This is voter suppression. Look how dirty this is. They got a law in place saying that you cannot pass out water or give food to people that's in line to go vote. Now, let's unpack this. Why would you need to give out water or food to people in line? Because they've been standing there for a long time. Elderly people who want to exercise their right to vote, you know, people might have high blood pressure, might have sugar, diabetes, those kind of things. And you got to think about it. High blood pressure and sugar, diabetes are highest in community of color. Long lines at election sites are usually going to affect people of color because, again, I just told you, we don't have that many sites in our communities. So we are usually jam-packed to a few sites. So that means our lines are longer. And now they're saying that we cannot pass out water and drinks and food. Who do you think that's going to affect? So now grandmama and them probably not going out there to vote because she'd rather be home comfortable where if her blood pressure go up, she could take her pills or she need to get a bite to eat, that she don't want to go to jail because she was trying to vote. That's voter suppression. Now, you have what Gloria experienced. You have mental voter suppression. Mental. So, it's where the media put in your mind that, oh, the election don't matter. The media put in your mind that, oh, it's so confusing. This person lied. This person did this. They put in your mind that, oh, the election is rigged. They put in your mind that, oh, your vote don't matter. So what you do, you keep that in your head. I can't trust none of these people. Oh, I can't. No. And they do that as reverse psychology. Because the people who are doing that are going to vote. Prime example, Donald Trump and all his minions spread those same rhetorics. Oh, the election is, don't early voting. What do they call it? The absentee voting is wrong. But he absentee voted in Florida. The people that spread those type of rhetorics are going to vote. They're not paying it any attention, but they're trying to get the people who would normally vote to not vote against them. So if you don't vote against them, they're going to have the leg up. And then our voter percentage is going to be low, and the seats that they want, they're going to get. Fair and square. They were like, yep, we showed up. Y'all didn't. We got it. And you be like, man, nah, it's rigged. I know it's way more black people in Atlanta. But they stayed home. That's how listen, for president election, that's how the state became a blue state. Because they had them voters drives. Stacey Abrams and all her people, man, they had Georgia on fire, getting them people out there to vote. That's how we got the Senate. But I'm afraid we're going to lose all that in this governor election because nobody talk about it. It is what it is. But look, I ain't gonna be here long on my soapbox. I just want you guys to remember, look, don't let this go by easy. And if you don't go vote, don't complain about anything, honestly, because you didn't participate in the process. Remember, your votes really do matter. And your cousin vote too. Everybody vote counts. So make sure you go out there and get registered to vote. Now, I'm glad you're talking about this. Thank you, Gloria. Man, I feel like a voice crying out in the wilderness. Crying out in the wilderness. But nah, seriously though, like it's really serious that like the whole all the way up and down the ballot, it works hand in hand. Like we may go down and talk about, okay, Biden is not doing this, and that. Biden have but so much power, especially when you get down to the lower level. So your main thing is your city candidates, your county candidates, school board candidates. School board candidates. We see our schools, man. You see what's happening in the schools? And just we talk about how let's just look at like L.R. Hopkins Elementary, Hopkins Middle School versus someplace like a Westwood. Like, you see the dynamics of the school buildings? Like the dynamics of the school resources? District 1, District 2, like Irmo High versus Dutch Fork, and like look at the resources that they have at the schools. Like it's based off the school board and county council. It all works hand in hand. President Biden ain't got nothing to do with what the school's doing right here, but it's still elected positions. Things that happen in our schools, like you have a voice. You have a voice. All right, I'm good. Man, the last thing I want to say is the reason why, again, I'm doing this is because I'm building a black network, a black-owned network. And again, these are some of the things that we're going to talk about, things that need to be talked about on a black-owned network. So you gotta, you see this little scroller marquee down here saying, "Hey Day, hey cousin Day, I see you." You see this thing down here say donate to buildkctv.com. Donate. So what these donation is doing is allowing us to be able to do more stuff like this. I can bring people on the show, and like I brought Derek Pugh and Aaron Bishop. Derek Pugh is county council. Aaron Bishop is Hamilton Jacobs. What's up? Hamilton Jacobs is running for Richland 1 school board seat at large. Now, again, we're talking about elections. My man is in the community. My man is on the front lines with the kids. He's running for school board. If we ain't talking about the elections, this man can't win if you don't go out and vote for the man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot sit out on elections and expect for things to change. And I endorse Hamilton because I see what he do in the community. He have the Bridge Over Foundation. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Bridge Over Foundation, and he talked about it today. You'll see, if you watch John Lakin and Friends on Sunday morning, he's going to be on there on John Lakin and Friends talking about not only his election seat, but what he's been doing in the community. And these are the things that we want to see. Hamilton Jacobs is running for school board seat at large. And again, he's going, if he get elected, when he get elected, if y'all don't go out there and vote, he can't get elected. But when he get elected, like, his job is to oversee a lot of the stuff that happened in Richland County School District 1. So because he's connected with the community, you can easily go to this brother and say, look, I got this situation at my school. What can we do about this? And I talked about earlier, you're supposed to have that connection with the people that's closest to you. So Hamilton is a great example of what we need to do and why we need to go out and vote. Because he's in the community. He's on my live. That's how much he's in the community. He's on my live. So, anyway, having a platform like this allows us to bring people on, like I brought Derek Pugh and Aaron Bishop, Derek Pugh is county councilor. Aaron Bishop is on the commission for school board as well, to talk about different issues. Other people that I brought on, people like Hamilton Grant, who participated in Isaac Wilson. What's up, brother? Isaac Wilson. This is another brother. I don't know. Are you running for any seats right now, Isaac? I know you ran in the past. Comment real quick and tell me what you ran for in the past and if you are still running. And I'm sure, I remember one time, I think you lost one of the elections, but it wasn't by that many. And if Negroes came out there and vote, then I'm sure he would have won his seat too. I appreciate the hearts. I don't know who hearting me right now. Oh, Gloria Wilson, I got you. Isaac, if you still on here, tell me what you ran for. And if you are running now, let me know what you're running for so that I can shout you out. Isaac Wilson, I remember meeting Isaac Wilson when he was at Morris College, along with my little sister, Elon. And Elon told me when she introduced me to Isaac, she said, this man's gonna be the next governor of South Carolina. And I've been watching closely. He said, you in the Democratic Party chair. Okay, you ran for city council recently by 13 votes. 13 votes. This man lost a city seat over 13 votes. I'm sure there's a house somewhere in Florence with 13 people that's unregistered to vote that could have put this man in. Somebody, again, like I said, when I was introduced, they said this dude was going to be the next governor of South Carolina. That's how plugged in he was. He still is. But he's a part of the Democratic Party. You said you're a Democratic Party chair of Florence County. That's actually dope because I actually work with third vice chair. If you know Jalen Elrod, I work with him on his campaign. But again, man lost by 13 votes. I just talked about this. People not being registered to vote in time, and also people just not showing up to vote if they are registered. Like, that's an issue. Isaac is on my live, so that means he's plugged in to grassroots, to the community. You can comment on this on my live right now and connect with Isaac Wilson. He's part of the Democratic Party in Florence County. So if you know somebody down there that may have some issues, I'm sure he's going to run again. All right. I digress again, a third time. Hopefully this is my last time. But again, we got to have platforms like this. That's why I need you to donate to buildkctv.com so that we can continue to build platforms like this and spread this to the community so that people can understand that simply based off this subject that your votes matter. But your time matters, like the things that you need to be educated on. If you got any education from what I was saying just a while ago, just let me know. Let me know in the comments if you learned anything today. If you learned anything today. Again, the election is November 8th. We less than 40 days away. I think we're 41 days. But by the time most of y'all see this, could be less than 40 days. Anyway, if you learned something today, that's what this platform is for. That's why I need you to donate. Because, again, we want to make this content more readily available. Run the official launch campaign. I'm going to take a break and then I'll close us out in a little bit. This is what we built. Everything. Literally everything you see here. And let me show you just a little bit more. Welcome to Kingdom Culture Studios. And you guessed it, we built this too. And I'm gonna show you why this is so important. Those who control the media control the mind of the masses. Media is our education. Media is how the world is shaped in our eyes. If the people that look like me and you don't control it, then who are controlling us? So in thinking about that, we are building what we call kingdomcultured.tv. What is Kingdom Cultured TV? Well, it's a network. Just like Fox Network, ABC Network, CBS Network, the stuff that you see on TV. We are bringing terrestrial TV to the internet, but we're doing it with integrity. We're a faith-based organization, so we are going to uphold standards that represent everyone well. We are building a platform where people that share our same ideals, share our same experiences, share everything that we would like to see in film. We're now providing a platform for that can happen. Not only going to be entertaining, but it's going to be educational as well, because it's going to bring up different points of views and different expertise in some of the subjects that we should talk about in our communities. That's what Black-owned networks have done in the past. And we're just really trying to bring that back. What we're building here, it's not your typical Christian network. Because when you think about Christian network, first thing you think about is a network that's playing sermons all day. You know, that's not what we're doing here. Ministry is happening, but what we're doing by educating.
When you don't vote, then you don't get what you need on the agenda for those municipalities.
Yeah.
Because they believe, I'm gonna call it what it is, when the community is silent, they get silent treatment.
Right.
Entertaining.
God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. That's how they insult to the country. God bless you.
Big Mighty God did it again. You woke up on the right side of the dirt, so let's give God a praise. This is John Lakin and friends.
Movies.
As soon as I get my legs stripped back, I'm out, all right? And you and your God, they have this place to yourself. What do you know, Coach? I'm the coach.
You know what coach I'm talking about. The one that sits high and looks low.
I had a good time too. You're a pretty funny guy.
And TV shows.
Of couples state that, you know what, it's so much going on, and by the time we get home and get the kids settled and this, we're so exhausted that we just don't even have time for each other.
Set aside some time. Put it on your calendar. At 7:00 p.m., we're having dinner in the bedroom. Or you can come out in your little sexy dress, whatever you feel. You know, fix yourself up. Do what you have to do for your spouse. Because when you got married and decided to have children, the children were not to take the place of your spouse.
So, come along. Nah, for real. We friends now. Come along, ride this train. There's nothing to lose, but everything to gain. So, look, let's build this thing together. You see what we built? This is what we building. Let's build this together. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this thing up. I was just talking with my team just a while ago, and kind of reminded me of the step process and how that stuff works. Just the hierarchy of everything. I'm gonna bring this full circle, and I'm gonna close this out again with what I'm doing. So people can see this video or just tap in briefly and see me talking about the election, right? Or your elected officials, or how important your voting is. And then you go and see another network maybe talking on a level in which you may not understand. So again, the reason for this platform is to try to break down those things where we can talk to each other freely and don't have to worry about time constraints, don't have to worry about not being able to break down what certain things mean, like gerrymandering. I don't know did I break that down? Gerrymandering is when they change the zoning where you may be you may vote at this precinct this year, and then next year you vote at another precinct, and you may not even vote for the same person. Gerrymandering. That's where basically they trying to figure out a way to get the people that looks like them or have their ideals be able to make sure that they reelect them year after year because of where they're staying, because of where they live. But you need platforms like this to kind of explain that, because you might hear those terms on a larger platform and don't understand what they mean. And so, and you got to understand that networks that are not owned by black people control the messaging. So their messaging is going to cater to their people and their audience. And not only that, they can shape what they want you to see or hear. We were just talking about the war. Like, America may be in war right now, but we don't know anything about it because the media ain't covering it. So unless it directly affects you, which it is directly affecting you, but if nobody's talking about it, then it's almost like it doesn't exist. So it's kind of like how I feel about the election. We ain't talking about it, so it doesn't exist. But it's literally less than 40 days away that things are gonna start changing. Prices going, your wallet is going to be affected. You know what I'm saying? The things that you do on a day-to-day basis is going to be affected based on, what, who you elected. But again, platforms like this is going to allow you to be able to see, and be able to talk to people on a level that we're on. So you can understand it, because it's black-owned. This integral, faith-based organization. So we ain't just out here spreading lies. We're trying to ask the right questions, try to bring you the right information. But we can't do this alone. We need you to continue to donate. If you have donated already, I appreciate it. We are still working on those care packages for you. Actually, I need more. Being real, I need more donations so that I can purchase the things to give to the people that donated. All right, so you can still donate at Bill KCTV. So donate to the cause so that we can continue to bring you content like this, and we can continue to keep us informed. Because if we don't do it, who will? So y'all have a good night, and I'll see y'all on the next go round. Peace.